Hey guys, Cosmo here and welcome back to another review. Now today we are reviewing variations of Meta here. I completely forgot who suggested Meta, but I will probably tell you guys in a minute. But today I've just picked 5 Metas here, as I'm not going to show you every single one, as I'll only show you every single variations of a diecast if there's only like a maximum of like 6 or something, or maybe 7, something like that. But there's tons of Metas, so there's no way I could do loads of reviews. So the ones you cannot suggest are normal Meta, blue Meta, Radiator Springs 500.5 Meta, Meta the Greater, and Meta with no tyres. Any other Meta you want, feel free to suggest, but you can't suggest these 5 obviously because I have already done them. We'll be going into pretty much quite a big depth of each one of them, so this could end up being quite a long review today. I'm going to start off obviously with the normal Meta. So guys, before we get into the review of normal Meta, it was suggested by Coolace Reviews. So I think I got it right anyway, and I hope that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I got it wrong, but I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. Alright then guys, so here we have the normal regular Meta. Now, there's quite a lot to say about him, and I'll start off with where he is in the film. Now, in the first film, he appears in Radiator Springs, which is where McQueen finds himself lost, and he slowly becomes McQueen's, well, I don't know if slowly, but like pretty quickly becomes McQueen's best friend throughout the film, and that continues for all 3 films. So he's sort of a funny, goofy character that messes around in Cars 1, and then in Cars 2 he kind of takes the main role, which a lot of people didn't like, and that's one of the reasons Cars 2, not many people will like it, but he took the main role sort of from McQueen and went on this big spy adventure, which I suppose people didn't like because it wasn't really realistic and it didn't really follow the plot, which is very true. And in Cars 3 has a very minor role again, probably more minor than Cars 1, where it's just this goofy self just doing some things around Radiator Springs and just making like some jokes. So I think that's how people like Meta. That's certainly how I like Meta. It was Cars 2 was cool, but I definitely like McQueen being the main star and Meta taking a sort of staying off to the back. So he's been, like I said, he's been in every single film. He's probably the second main character, at least in the first 2. Well, in the second he's the main character. I am not going to review, well, I'm not going to show you Meta with the 95 from Cars 2, as there's no point, because this just has a 95 logo on it. I only have one Meta from Cars 2 here today, and that is the Meta with no tyres. And I just chose that because it's a pretty cool release to show you guys. Anyway, Meta's been released multiple times, so many times, near enough as amount of times as McQueen. Been released in the Desert Art series, Supercharged, World of Cars, Racerama, I'm pretty sure Racerama, in multiple 3-packs, double packs, probably not deluxe, like gift packs or like 11 packs and all that. He's been released in Cars 2 and that Porta Corsa series, and released in 2013. He's been released so many times, it is unreal, but you can see why, because of the amount he's in the film and how much of a main character he is. So there's probably tons and tons of Metas out there. Probably even people that don't really like Cars too much have Meta just because he's a cool sort of truck to have, which I suppose is fair enough. He's very cool and very different. Anyway, let's stop talking and let's get on to the actual review here. Alright, so as we come up to the front of Meta, this is a fairly old Meta. The back is plastic on this one, as I don't have my original one to hand. But this is a pretty old one, as you can only see it's got that. So this is probably one of the first ones when they started making it plastic at the back. But we have his buck teeth here, which are sort of 3D, as you can see there. You can sort of put your finger in there with his little teeth there. We have his completely rusty bumper, which on the blue one is a lot different. His light and his non-light there. So we just have the one working one, very famous for Meta. One of the most famous things, he has no hood here whatsoever. You can see his engine, which on this particular one looks very nice. We have his eyes as well. This is sort of really hard plastic here, bumps up with his green eyes. We have his wind mirrors here, which are also actually pretty hard on this model as well. They're not very bendy. As we go to the side, we have where you can see where it used to be blue there with rust just covering over, and this is the most accurate colour of his old colour. It says Tow Meta, Towing and Salvage Radiator Springs. This is business. More rust here again, his little handle. Actually, we have his window there, I can say it. And the mirrors are just brown on the back. We have the fuel cap, I think, well, yeah, the bit where the fuel goes in doesn't look like there's a cap on it anymore. If we go to the front, we have his rusty wheels there. Now they're the correct on the front, but because this is an old Mater, this is meant to be yellow, and this is meant to be sort of a really light sort of purple. It's a really hard colour to explain, or blue, which we'll see later on with other versions of Mater. This is all rusted as well. You can see a tiny bit of blue there, but it's pretty rusted. We have his tow cable there, because he's a tow truck. This kind of does move a little bit. This is all sort of cutting, all fixed sort of, and we have his sort of one light there. We have another little light there, and there should be one there, which you'll see on the brand new Mater. All his lights, but one is missing. Once again, we'll see that on the brand new Mater where it was once there. We have the back here. This bit's of rust, maybe where the tow cable has scratched it over the years. We have some more towing bits and its lights there as well. You can see the bit where the tow cable winds in there as well. We have all the caution stuff here as well, which is pretty much all gone. That's a nice view there. And his license plate, which is A113, which we see in all the Cars films and most Disney films, because it's the, well, Pixar films, because it's the room where they thought of all the ideas for certain films, like Monsters Inc, Cars and stuff like that, and possibly The Incredibles as well. So as we move around to this side, it's pretty much the same as the other side here. We have this little light here, which I didn't spot earlier. This kind of looks like a fuel cap, but I don't think it is. It's not engraved or anything. And we have the same thing this side as well, just different, slightly different rust. He's not sort of matte as such, he's a little bit, but he's a bit shiny as well, which I suppose would be cool if it was matte. At the bottom he's all brown as well, Disney Pixar China and an old cone. All his engine parts, like his transmission, his drive line, differential, all the parts that an old truck like Mater would have. So that is the original. And now if we go on to the new one, you'll see quite a few differences. But we'll show you him now. So here is brand new Mater. Now this is what Mater would have looked like when he was young and first made. I think he's a 1955 truck, so he's quite old. And this is what he looks like. See, the main difference, as you can tell, is that he's completely blue. Now this is my personal favourite Mater. It would be cool if he looked like this through the whole thing, but I suppose he did have to get ruined because it's, you know, as time goes on. His teeth are in a different position, as you can see there. Still 3D, bit chipped because, like, once again, this is sort of an older one. Both of his lights are here. His hood is actually still on, which looks really cool. This is all sort of not chrome, but this is blue as well. We saw it was all rusted before. As you can go around, you can see Terminator tow and salvaging, and really nice there. Now, this is one of the only diecast like Mater, like a truck, which you can still get, which is all metal. This whole back bit is metal. You could still get it up to the 2017 series with it being metal. So I would recommend getting this Mater if you haven't got it, or you want a car that's all metal, because it is really good. It's all metal here, which is amazing. Now the wheels are white there, so this is probably on there. That you see on Mater with no tyres, it probably was meant to be white and then faded to like a darker white, off-white kind of colour. There's fuel cap there again. This is actually, the red light is actually filled in there. We have all of his lights here rather than just one there and one there. We have all four, including this one here. Now, as you can see there, we have his caution tape and the number plate and the lights all fine, whereas here they're all rusted away. Over here we have no fuel cap, so that's not a fuel cap, it must be a dent, and the same as the other side. He also has this little thing on the wing mirror as well, another light which he does not have here, and he has all his lights, whereas this Mater has the missing one and only has 3. So that is the difference of him there. He still has this bumped up bit as well, different kind of feel to it, little plastic bit for his eyes, which is really cool. But yeah, this is definitely my favourite Mater. The base is, as you can tell, I think this is actually a newer car. As you can see, it's got more code in there and the same all engine parts, but now it's all blue. So that is a really cool Mater there. He appears in the flashback scene of Cars 1 where they're looking over the town from the Will Well Motel. Alright then guys, so here is Mater the Greater. Now he is sort of the third sort of one to be released out of these. I'm kind of doing them in order of release. Now he was in a Cars toon where Mater was once a stunt car, and obviously his name was Mater the Greater. Now this is a very cool car. me over here in the UK, I didn't really get this until recently when Asda, which is the British version of Walmart, started doing the packs in like 2016, I think, the 3 packs. So I got this very recently, probably later than I wanted to get it. But if we start off by reviewing it here, we have another new sort of expression with him where it's just his buck teeth sticking out. His lights here, which look a bit chrome. Sadly, we have a mouth plate, but doesn't matter too much. We have his blue hood with the stars, green eyes. We have the big helmet, which is really cool. White, and then we have red stripes going down here. His wheels look amazing with that blue and the star in the middle. I really do like that. We have his fuel cap here again. The lights, a different sort of tape, and this is Mattel Great or Mattel Great, something like that. All of his lights here, and his tow cable is like sprayed, sort of different colour. All this is been sprayed, which looks really cool. I do like this Mattel. It's probably one of my favourites, I'd have to say. Maybe after Blue Mater. It's just so cool and so creative. But yeah, there was also a burnt one and a scuba diving one, but like I said, I'm not going to review that because we have this one and there's no point showing the variations of Mater the Greater, because we're just doing variations of Mater video. But like I said, you can review them to Mater the Greatest as well, but obviously just not the normal one because I reviewed him now. But yeah, that is he hasn't really been released many times. I think maybe I don't know. I mean, I got him in a 3-pack with the car, which has all the buck teeth stuff that you could buy, and one of his pitties. But maybe he's released in a single. I really can't remember. But yeah, that's a little look of him there. Really cool diecast. I like him. The cartoon was good. There was also a McQueen one as well. Alright, then next up is Mater with no tyres. Now he is seen in the beginning of Cars 2 where him and McQueen are on the train tracks together and they go down with no tyres, and obviously Galloping Gear Grinder comes out of the tunnel and scares them both, and you see him heading back the other way. Now he is not really different from the other Mater. His expression is even that different. His eyes are different though, which is pretty cool. The sort of bonnet, not the bonnet, the engine is a bit different from the original one. And obviously the colouring, but each Mater sort of has a different colour to it. But there are his wheels there. You can see they're still bigger, they're still the same size as a normal wheel here, so it rolls properly. Obviously because of this bit that hangs over. See, now this is what I was talking about earlier. It's yellow on this side, so it's really faded to yellow. And then this side is still that white, but it's gone a bit blue. So that's what it looks like, and it's obviously all dirty at the bottom from going along them train tracks, which is really cool. But yeah, he was only released in a double pack with McQueen in 2016, I think, with McQueen with no tyres, which could be a future video maybe. If I do like variations of McQueen, I could choose him. But yeah, he's got a very small part, but it's a cool Mater to get. It is a different Mater, that's for sure, because we've only really seen that on this, I can't remember the car where he's going through the terminal at the airport. He has no tyres. I think it was Chase actually. I do actually have him, I can't remember his name. And obviously McQueen. So there's 3 cars we have with no tyres, which is pretty cool. Alright, then this next Mater is probably the most creative one, which is, well, most different one, which is really cool. This is from the Radiator Springs 500.5, which is one of the Radiator Springs shorts. It wasn't a Cars 2, now changed to sort of Radiator Springs shorts, where it wasn't Mater's Tall Tales, it was just a little small tiny snippet of life in Radiator Springs. This is where challengers come and they race them. Now, this never actually appeared, I don't think, in Radiator Springs 500.5. So I'm pretty sure this is completely made up. This wasn't even in the short. He was dressed as Stanley. So I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think this was in the whole short at all. So this is, they should have done the Stanley one, so it's a bit of a weird release, but we got it nonetheless. It's a little bit different as well. It's more square, as you can see. He doesn't have his mouth sort of doing a little curve like it does usually. I suppose he's more focused on the race. Here we have a big plastic tow hook bit at the beginning there with a little chain, which is pretty cool. With his angry expression there, with his light, and this light is actually different, as you can see from the other one. It's more of a bigger hole. I don't know which one I like more. Got angry expression there, and I like the way that they haven't put a light there because this light doesn't work there. That's cool, I like that. This also has a wood effect to it as well. And we have his big tyres here, which do move. They have the moving axles, and you can see the suspension parts in there. He also has like bigger arches as well, which is pretty cool. We have the big wheel at the back as well, same kind of thing. A tyre through there, which is really cool. As you can see, the axle moving there with the white on there. So this is kind of the only really bit of Mater that lasted. We also, I don't really think there's much other things different about him. His wind mirrors appears to be a bit bigger as well. Maybe they were custom made bigger, and that is the base, if you're interested in seeing this with base. But yeah, we've got a couple of differences to the Mater there, mainly the ginormous wheels and the tow hook and all that. But yeah, this was released in sort of a deluxe kind of size. I've just got a screen on the table now. But yeah, released in a deluxe sort of size. They were sort of, I think they were the normal deluxe price. I think they were, in the end, they were made cheaper. But at the beginning, they were quite expensive, I think. The hardest one for me to get was Stanley Days Fillmore. I got Sarge as well. And this one was also very hard to get as well. So them two were hard to get. But yeah, that is it for this Mater. I'd also quickly like to say I have Dr. Damage. I got him today, so that will be the next review. And I also have the Heavy Metal Lightning McQueen to review as well. So Dr. Damage will be out tomorrow, and obviously, so when this is uploaded, it will be out tomorrow. So look forward to that review tomorrow. Here, I'll just line each of these guys up now. Gonna put, this is how this is a bit of behind the scenes, I suppose. I'll line them up different. There we go. Alright then guys, thank you for watching this video or review on the variations of Mater. I know this wasn't all of them, so if it's not one of these Maters here, feel free to suggest it. Thank you once again, coolace reviews. I really do appreciate you suggesting. Make sure, guys, if you haven't suggested a car yet, to please do so. Even if you have, feel free to do it again, I don't mind. But thank you guys for watching this review. As always, I'll see you in the next one.